Black people in this society are not used to seeing, oh, we're all act different. Hey, I'm preaching to the crowd, right? HBCU. But like, people aren't used to seeing someone like me at an HBCU. Everyone thinks I'm like type 1 just because of the way I act.
I never assumed that you were whitewashed. I just assumed you were weird. Good evening, everyone. How are you this evening? What a lovely crowd. We will be starting shortly, so if you would, please silence your cell phones and please take your seats. Good evening, everyone. My name is Joan Bullock. I am a professor at Thurgood Marshall School of Law, and I am your mistress of ceremony for this momentous occasion this evening. On behalf of the Thurgood Marshall School of Law's administration, faculty, staff, and class of 2024 graduates, I would like to warmly welcome all guests attending the hooding ceremony for the class of 2024 today. You should have received a hooding ceremony booklet when you entered the building. On the 4th page, you will find the hooding program. Our student and faculty processional will start at this time, so again, please silence your cell phones. Now, let's get things started. Please join me in welcoming our class of 2024 graduates. may be seated. I would like to welcome to the stage Lauren Gonzalez, the 3L class vice president.
We did it. I want to welcome all of our family members, our distinguished guests, our faculty, and of course my friends, my classmates, the class of 2024. I am honored to be able to begin this ceremony with an invocation. And I'm going to start this by the way that we started in law school. And I'm going to do what's called a cold call. And I'm going to ask y'all in the audience one question. I'm going to ask you if you have ever whispered so much as a prayer for anybody sitting in these seats here. Will you please raise your hand? My friends, look around you. Your very presence in this room, in those seats, is an answer to countless prayers. Not just the prayers that are here in this room, but the generations upon generations upon generations that have gone before us. And so I am honored to begin this with a prayer. Father God, I thank you so much for bringing us in this room. I'm so thankful for my friends and my classmates who have come together for these past 3 years. From all walks of life, you've drawn us here. I ask that you will continue to bless them, that you will follow them, that you will remind them who they are, that they are graduates of the Thurgood Marshall School of Law, that they are winners, that they are more than champions, that they are the heads and not the tails, that they will be successful in everything that you do. I ask that you place a hedge of protection around them as they go into these next days, weeks, months, and years, fulfilling the call to bring justice to every room that we walk into, every community that we go to. I pray all this in your name. Amen. Thank you.
I would like to now welcome our interim dean and professor of law, Okezi Chukwumerije.
Good evening. Distinguished guests, faculty members and staff, friends, and most importantly, the class of 2024. Before I start my brief remarks, let us please have a moment of silence for two of our esteemed professors who passed away this year, Professor Thelma Hammond and Professor DeCarlos Spearman, and also for other loved ones who are no longer with us. Just a moment of silence, please. Thank you. I stand before you today with a deep sense of pride and honor as we gather here to celebrate the hooding ceremony for our distinguished class of 2024. This momentous occasion marks the culmination of years of dedication, perseverance, and steadfast commitment to the pursuit of academic excellence. Every one of you, our graduates, have demonstrated exceptional strength and resilience in overcoming unique challenges. Today, we not only honor your achievements, but also acknowledge the solid support system that has stood by your side throughout this incredible journey. Let us take a moment to recognize some of those who have supported you during your academic journey. May the parents and grandparents of the graduates please stand. Thank you. Please remain standing for a minute. And may the spouses and significant others of the graduate please stand. Thank you. Please remain standing for a minute. I want every one of our graduates to please rise. If you know where your family and friends are sitting, you may face them. And on the count of 3, but you have to wait for the count of 3, I want you to yell or scream, "Thank you," loud enough for them to hear you, loud enough for them to hear you express gratitude for all the sacrifices they have made to ensure your success. So we want some noise in the house after the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. You may be seated. To our faculty and staff, thank you for your dedication to imparting knowledge, wisdom, and guidance to our graduates. Your tireless efforts have shaped their intellect, cultivated their passion for justice, and prepared them for the challenges of the legal profession. Class of 2024, as you begin the next chapter of your lives, equipped with the knowledge and skills you have acquired, I implore you to embrace the responsibilities that come with your legal education. First, you have to remember that you are equipped to ace the bar exam. You have all demonstrated the ability to perform at a very high level. You must now dedicate every hour of the next 2 months to preparing for the bar exam. Studies have consistently shown that students who diligently complete the bar prep course pass the bar exam at an impressive rate. And the February bar takers have set a very high standard. And you cannot drop it. So you have to commit yourselves to completing the bar prep course. And to the parents and family members of our graduates, please, please, please help us ensure that your graduates pass this important exam. And how can you do so? We implore you to consistently encourage them to complete the bar prep course and to submit all recommended assignments. You can help us by doing this. Finally, to our graduates, as you embark on your respective careers, never forget the privilege and honor it is to be a graduate of our esteemed law school. Cherish the friendships and connections you have forged here, as they will continue to support and inspire you throughout your lives. Remember that TMSL is always a home for you. The doors of the law school will always remain open to you. We will celebrate your future successes with pride and admiration, beginning with your passing the bar exam. Congratulations, class of 2024. May God bless you all, and thank you.
Please welcome Ahunanya Anga, who's the Associate Dean of Faculty of Teaching and Faculty Development, and who will be giving recognition and announcements.
Good evening. At this time, we would like to recognize Texas Southern University's leadership in attendance at the hooding ceremony. We have Regent Richard Johnson III, TSU Board of Regents, and Dr. Carl Goodman, Provost and Senior Vice President of Academic Affairs. Next, we have TMSL graduated judges and attorneys attending the hooding ceremony. If you would stand and be recognized, if you're a judge from TMSL attending. We have judges and attorneys who have graduated from other law schools who are in attendance at our law school hooding. Would you please stand and be recognized? Further, we would like to recognize special guests of our 2024 graduates. These are elected officials or administrators from other institutions. We have the Honorable Angela Lanslin. She is the Justice of the Harris County District Judge at the 245th Family Law Court. Is she here? We also have the Honorable Anna Blackburn Rigsby, Chief Judge of the District of Columbia Court of Appeals in Washington, D.C. We also have Robert R. Rigsby, Associate Judge of District of Columbia Superior Court, Washington, D.C. Justice Rigsby was nominated by President George W. Bush to be an Associate Justice of the District of Columbia Superior Court. Finally, we have the Honorable Carl A. Walker, Justice, Illinois Appellate Court. Thank you. Now let us recognize the class of 2023 graduates who successfully passed the Texas bar exam. These students, 2023 graduates, could you please stand and rise? The December graduates who passed the February, please remain. Please remain standing. Next, we have the the 2024 graduates who were enrolled in school and passed the Texas bar. Please. Next, we have the 2024 graduates who took outside jurisdictions. We have two from DC. Please stand and remain standing. These are our newly minted attorneys who have just passed their February bar exam. Please, please look at your classmates and tell them, you too would do it. Please be seated. Thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Kevin Murray, who is the Thurgood Marshall School of Law Alumni Board President. Please welcome him to the stage.
My goodness. Good evening. Y'all were a lot more rowdier before. Good evening. Much better, much better. My name is Kevin Murray. I am the Texas Southern University Thurgood Marshall School of Law Alumni Board President. So it's my honor to welcome everyone here. I am class of 1997. Is that's old, right? Huh. And I don't look that old, right? I look at her. 27 years ago, I was literally sitting in those seats, so I understand everything that you're going through. and you have a family, a network of over 5,000 alumni across the world that will support you in anything that you ever need. I just want to I can't tell you how excited I am to be here and to just inform you something about our school. We are the most diverse law school in the country. We're the most diverse in ethnicity. We're the most diverse in culture. We're the most diverse in opinion and thought. With that being said, congratulations, felicidades, ungera. We talking to everybody tonight. Let's go. Now I'm here, I get excited, but my job here is to announce the alumnus of the year, and that's Mr. Isaac Johnson. Now right on. But you're gonna have an opportunity to do it, give him his just due. His bio is in your program, so I won't bore you with the details, but there's a couple things that I want to point out. First, Isaac Johnson is the president and CEO of TDECU Credit Union. Before that, he's held roles of leadership at USAA, Wells Fargo, Trustmark, and National Bank. He currently serves as a 2-star Major General in the United States Army. He commands the U.S. Army Civil Affairs and Psychological Operations Command. He's a decorated leader. He's received numerous awards. He's the graduate of Mississippi State University. He's graduated from Jackson State University with a Master's in Business Administration. He's graduated from the U.S. Army War College, completed executive training at the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania and at Cornell University. All right, but we're here tonight because he's one of ours. He graduated from Texas Southern University, Thurgood Marshall School of Law. All right, so like I say, I always ask, because this is the 4th year I've done this, and I always ask the honoree, give me something that's not in your bio. Tell me something that we don't know, right? So he was like, well, Kevin, about a month ago, I jumped out of a perfectly good airplane with dignitaries from the military of the Ivory Coast. I was like, all right, pop your collar. He says, well, you know what? He's like, all the universities I've gone to, he's like, well, tomorrow, I'm receiving the highest award, the Presidential Medal of Honor, from the University of Houston. I was like, all right. So our alumni get honored from schools they never attended. That's how bad we are. Put your hands together for that. And I asked him his greatest accomplishment, and he went to his family. And when I call your name, please stand. He told me about his 4 sons. The oldest is not here. That's David. Bryce, I believe, is here. Please stand. Zachary. Joshua. What? Who else am I missing? Am I missing anybody? Jason. His niece, Patrice, nephew, Jason. Oh, you all stand up. Give a round of applause for his family. And now finally, before I bring him up, I just want to let you know, you come from a long line of distinguished alumni. I was on a phone call the other day, and it was put in a question, in my opinion, our alumni. So I want to be very, very clear, right? The 4 years I've done this, the first year we honored the first Latina that was a congressional candidate in her district, and the first Latina to issue articles of impeachment for a sitting U.S. president. That was Sylvia Garcia. The second year I did this, we honored Valencia Nash. She's the only African-American judge that sits on the Texas Judicial Board, and that's the board that regulates and sets a policy for the state judiciary. Last year, we honored Rick Barrera, and I believe he did this less than 10 years out of law school. He currently holds the highest jury verdict for a medical malpractice case in New Mexico. And most recently, some of our friends just had an $81 million verdict down in Bexar County. We produce lawyers who get stuff, it's not the word I want to use, done. Don't ever forget that. All right, finally, TSU, Thurgood Marshall School of Law, Extraordinary is ordinary. If you don't remember anything else I say today, my class that I taught, they'll tell you, I say this every day, I mean it. Extraordinary is ordinary here, all right? We have high expectations for all you here. Now, with that being said, put your hands together for Isaac Johnson, our alumnus of the year. Now,
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank
take a
you.
picture right here. Oh, appreciate it. See,
Oh, okay.
they told they were going to hide it under here. I was
Okay,
nervous.
well,
I didn't know we were going
thank
to get it.
you.
I know. There we go.
Thank you.
Right.
Well, that's pretty heavy too. All right. All right. So I'll put this. Let me. All right. I apologize. I'm looking for a speech somewhere. I have it. I had it, and then I think through that transition, I just might have lost it. So, if not, I'm going to wing it, and I'll be up here for all day. So, isn't there? Okay. You know what? Here we go. We can do that too. Yeah. First of all, good evening, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here. It's such an honor to come back home. First of all, I want to extend my gratitude to the Board of Regents that are here represented, of course, to our distinguished dean and to the law school faculty. And I want to thank my family for coming out here too, and thank y'all for coming. My heart and whatever achievements I've had, that you're my greatest achievement. And Tony, thank you for joining us too here this evening. So look, I'm going to be short, but as I look out over the sea of graduates, I am particularly honored because from my vantage point, I see a room filled with excellence and promise. And many congratulations to all of you who've already passed the bar. And those of you getting ready to pass the bar, please study hard. Of course, you keep hearing that. But this hooding ceremony and graduation is such a special day. It is a time for your dreams to take flight. And I would share, I'm a little bit younger than you, I think, but when I came here in 1999, I came here in a little small car with a U-Haul on the back with a pocket full of dreams. And one of those dreams was to earn a Juris Doctorate from Thurgood Marshall School of Law. And that dream came true with the blessings of God. Now that I serve as the president and CEO of TDECU, one of the largest financial institutions in the state of Texas, and a 2-star Major General in the United States Army Reserve, I'm living. God has helped me live many of those dreams in my family. But I have not stopped dreaming. And so I hope all of you graduates like me will follow your dreams and don't stop dreaming. Those dreams will take you to new achievements, successes, and honors, and bright futures. So many congratulations, and God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. I would now like to welcome Mr. Channing Christoph Jr. to the podium. He's the class of 2024 valedictorian. Torian is the student who ranks number 1 in the class of 2024. Mr. Christoph.
Thank you. Good evening, beautiful people. Today marks a significant milestone in my classmates' lives. It's our graduation. And as we stand today on the cusp of our futures, it is important for us to reflect on the journey that brought us here. So to everyone who has taught us along the way, to everyone who has helped us along the way, and to everybody who fed us along the way, from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you. To get here today, we have encountered countless obstacles, challenges, and the occasional walkout. But in the face of adversity, we persevered. We've pulled countless all-nighters to prepare for our exams. We've excelled in all of our extracurricular activities. And we balanced the demands of everyday life while doing so. Through it all, our unwavering faith in our abilities and in ourselves remained constant. Believing in ourselves is not just a cliche, it is the cornerstone of success, especially mine. I'm just a kid who was afraid of the train that was across the tracks. That's probably my family laughing at me. But the faith that I have in myself and in my classmates is the engine that propels me forward every day. It is the faith in our abilities that allow us to achieve our heart's desires. But believing in ourselves is only part of the battle. We have to meet our belief with a desire to achieve everything we want in life. There is no ceiling to our capabilities. We can achieve whatever we want because we come from Thurgood. Thurgood forges attorneys with a resolve like no other. So I'd like to leave you guys with one of my favorite quotes from James Baldwin. And if you know from whence you came, there is really no limit to where you can go. So please, never forget, we come from the Thurgood Marshall School of Law. Never forget your resolve. That is a power you will hold with you for the rest of your lives. Because I will never forget the strength you guys have shown me these past 3 years. For the February bar takers, thank you for setting the tone for July. 19 months ago, yeah, please clap for them, thank you. 19 months ago, we made a pledge regarding the bar. We will meet our expectations. So, after you all enjoy your accomplishments, and please celebrate this weekend, do not forget, the work is not done. Congratulations to the class of 2024. My name is Channing Clayton Christoph Jr. I am honored to be a valedictorian. I cannot wait to see you shine your light on the world, and I love you all.
I would like to call Mr. Eric Charles Helm, the 3-0 class president, to introduce our keynote speaker.
Today marks a significant milestone in our lives. Let me start by saying I have 3 minutes per Dean Oratra, and so I have a timer on myself so that I do not go over that 3 minutes. However, I begin now. Today marks a significant milestone in our lives, a moment we've all worked tirelessly towards. As we stand on the threshold of our future, I'm reminded of a profound transformation that mirrors our journey, the renaming of Abram to Abraham in the biblical narrative. In the book of Genesis, we read about a man born Abram, a man of great promise but also uncertainty. His name, meaning exalted father, signified potential, yet it was divine intervention that reshaped his identity and his true purpose emerged. In this story, he started out as Abram, and God added the letter H to his name, transforming him into Abraham, father of many nations. This alteration was not merely linguistic. It represented a divine affirmation and covenantal promise. It represented a change from potential to fulfillment. Similarly, as we gather here today, we reflect on our own transformations. We entered this educational journey with dreams and aspirations, perhaps uncertain of the exact path ahead. For many of us, much like Abraham, this journey led to a new identity, distinguished by the initials JD, Juris Doctor. Just as Abraham's name change signified a deeper calling and purpose, our graduation represents more than the acquisition of knowledge and skills. It marks our transition from students to professionals, from learners to leaders in the field of law. Like Abraham, we have been entrusted with a legacy, a responsibility to contribute meaningfully to society, to seek justice with zealous advocacy, and to uphold the values of truth and fairness. Congratulations to each of you, my fellow graduates. May the spirit of Abraham's transformation inspire us as we embrace our new identities with courage and determination. Let us go forth guided by integrity and divine purpose, knowing that with every challenge we face, we have the opportunity to leave a lasting impact, a legacy worthy of the names we now proudly bear. Go proudly and become the rest of who you are. To help guide us on our journey, it was critically important to me as your president and the board that we have a speaker with a voice for the past, the present, and the future. The Honorable Bakari Sellers, South Carolina House of Representatives for the 90th District, 2006 to 2014. Bakari was born into an activist family. His father, a civil rights leader, Cleveland Sellers, instilled core values in him to continue in the tireless commitment to service. In 2005, Bakari earned a bachelor's degree in African American Studies from Morehouse College. He continued his education at the University of South Carolina School of Law in 2008, earning a Juris Doctor. Bakari currently practices law with Strom Law Firm, LLC, in Columbia, South Carolina. Bakari made history in the 2006 South Carolina State Legislature as the youngest African-American elected official in the nation at the age of 22. His political career did not stop there. In 2014, he was the Democratic nominee for Lieutenant Governor for the state of South Carolina. Bakari has also worked for the United States Congressman James Cleburne and former Atlanta Mayor Shirley Franklin. His accomplishments have not gone unnoticed within the Democratic Party. In 2008, he served on President Obama's South Carolina Steering Committee. His ability to reach across the aisle to get things done has led to numerous achievements, including being named Time Magazine's 40 Under 40 and the Root 100 list of the nation's most influential African Americans in 2015, and HBCU Top 30 Under 30 in July 2014. Bakari has served as a featured speaker at various political events, universities, and national trade organizations across the country, such as the 2008 and 2016 Democratic National Conventions. Bakari is married to Dr. Ellen Rucker Sellers, and he is the father of twins, Sadie and Stokely, as well as Kai, who is a freshman at Howard. Bakari Sellers recently released his new children's book, Who Are Your People? This children's picture book, which was inspired by his two 3-year-old twins, Sadie and Stokely, was written to teach young black readers about their history. Bakari Sellers authored a New York Times bestseller, My Vanishing Country, a memoir. The book has been described as part memoir, part historical and cultural analysis illustrating the lives of America's forgotten black working class men and women. Bakari recently expanded his audience with the Bakari Sellers Podcast, a twice-a-week show that is part of the Ringer Podcast Network. His podcasts discuss a variety of topics from politics, race, sports, media, the presidential campaign, and much more. Mr. Sellers recently released The Moment, Thoughts on the Race Reckoning That Wasn't and How We All Can Move Forward Now. The New York Times bestselling author, My Vanishing Country, examines the modern political landscape and policies that are impacting black families and communities and offers solutions for a better tomorrow. Without further ado, I introduce to some and present to others, Bakari Sellers.
Good evening. Good evening. I must admit, Dean, I am having a bit of PTSD as I come before you today with all of this talk of the bar exam. As somebody who had to take theirs 3 times, don't judge me. I eventually passed it, but good luck on your first try. I do recall sitting in those seats, and I remember the 5 B's as you speak at graduations, which are be brief, brother, be brief. And so I'm going to treat all of you all like Elizabeth Taylor treated all 7 of her husbands, and that means I'm not going to keep you long. I am from the big city of Denmark, South Carolina, where we had 3 stoplights and a blinking light. And my mom and dad would always tell me that the 2 most important words in the English language are the words thank you, and they're not nearly said enough. And so I want to say thank you to Eric Charles and Channing and Lauren and everybody who had the opportunity today to come and speak in front of your classmates. Please give them a round of applause. We already said it once, but it bears repeating to all of those individuals, because I am a product of the proverb, it takes a village to raise a child. And so for everyone who poured into you guys, those praying grandmothers who are in the audience, who this is their day. Graduation and hooding ceremonies ain't really for you. All you get out of this is a free dinner. This is actually for the people in the audience, and so I want to say thank you so much for pouring into these graduates. When I was sitting here thinking about what I was going to talk about, and I had an opportunity to have lunch today with Isaac Johnson. Do you go by General? All right, I'm going to call you General. I don't know when I'm going to need you. I was thinking that today's conversation would be about nothing less than excellence. You know, life is not a singular step, instead it's a collection thereof, and you are now taking more steps on your journey, and the destination for the purposes of this conversation and the destination for this journey that we're undertaking is nothing less than excellence. And so usually as I talk and chat and challenge myself and I'm in moments of introspection, I actually ask myself two very simple questions. And whether or not you are the individual who's going to come up in this auditorium, gymnasium, and clean up, or whether or not you are the dean of this institution, or whether or not you are the valedictorian, or whether or not you finish summa cum laude, or you just finish oh lordy, you have to spend some time asking yourself two very simple questions. As you sit in those chairs, as you go out into the world, ask yourself those two very simple questions. And let me apologize beforehand for bombarding you with questions that are rooted in such simplicity, but they're necessary to answer as we navigate this journey to excellence. I don't care if you are the chief judge out there from the DC circuit. I like her a whole lot. She's a bad woman. But you got to ask yourself, how far have we come and where do we go from here? I think the onus is on you, particularly because you are graduating from the Thurgood Marshall School of Law, to really dig deep and ask yourself those two very simple questions. And for me, I like to use historical context when answering the first question, which is how far have we come? I like to think back to 1946. There's a young man named George Elmore. George was what they called a Renaissance Negro. He was so fair-skinned that he could pass for being white, but he was deemed to be a Renaissance Negro because of the simple fact that he owned a five and dime store, he drove a cab, he had a liquor store, and he took pictures on the side. All of this for a black man in 1946. And George decided he was going to try to register to vote, and so George actually went down and got his voter registration card. But then in August of 1946, he tried to cast a ballot in the Democratic primary. And who were the nosiest people in all the world? Poll workers. It's like in your job criteria to be nosy as hell if you're going to be a poll worker. And the poll workers looked at George and said, "We know you're a Negro, you can't vote here." But George was filled with faith. And so George filed this lawsuit. It was known as Elmore versus Rice. As soon as he filed the lawsuit, they firebombed his liquor store. They stopped distributing to his five and dime store. His wife literally died in a mental health hospital from having to undergo the trauma of the crosses being burned on her yard, etc. George Elmore literally lost everything. He died a very broken man financially, emotionally, physically. But Elmore versus Rice is the reason that African Americans can vote in primaries throughout the country. So since that time, ask yourself that very simple question: how far have we come? One of the baddest women that I love and know, and it's a name that when I yell it out, not enough of you all know, even graduates and probably some faculty, but her name is Sarah Mae Fleming. Don't embarrass yourself back there. I'm going to tell you who she is in a second. But Sarah was a 22-year-old domestic worker. She used to clean up hotels, and one day she got off work with her girlfriend, and they came downstairs and they got on a bus. Back then, the buses were owned by utility companies, particularly in the South. And her sin wasn't sitting at the front of the bus. Her sin was that when the bus driver told her to get up and get out the bus, she went out the front door that the white folks use instead of the back door that the coloreds use. And the bus driver grabbed her by the back of the neck, punched her in the stomach, and rolled her down the steps. I love Sarah because Sarah wasn't looking to make history that day. Instead, history found her. Think about that. She wasn't looking to make history that day. Instead, history found her. It reminds me of in the book of Isaiah. And Eric Charles, I'm the furthest thing away from a pastor, but this is where you have me. If anybody see me drink tequila, they know I'm the furthest thing from a pastor. But it reminds me of in the book of Isaiah when he was in the full awe and glory of the Lord, and the question was asked, who shall go for me? And he said, oh, y'all don't go to church in Texas? Thank you. This audience, I don't know. Here am I, Lord, send me. See, she wasn't looking to make history that day. Instead, she said, here am I, Lord, send me. And Sarah Mae Fleming joined with some young enterprising lawyers from the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, and she laid the groundwork and foundation in action and law for another young woman who sat down some 18 months later named Rosa Parks. So again, ask yourself that very simple question, how far have we come? And last but not least, I love telling a story about my home state of South Carolina, particularly in Clarendon County, South Carolina. Now, you all should all know this one, but there was a mother and father named Harry and Eliza Briggs. And you know how your grandparents sometimes tell you stories about how they used to walk to school uphill both ways? Well, about 60% of that story is true. Back in the 40s and 50s, black children, and particularly throughout the South, had to walk to school, and Harry and Eliza Briggs simply wanted access to school buses. And so they sued the school superintendent. The name of that case in 1949 was Briggs v. Elliott. Briggs v. Elliott was the first case filed in the landmark collection of cases known as This is Participatory, Brown versus the Board of Education. I don't know if they're ready to graduate today or not. But in Brown versus the Board of Education, Chief Justice Warren got a very rare unanimous opinion. In Brown versus the Board of Education, he got a rare unanimous opinion in which the holding was segregation causes a sense of inferiority by placing children in environments not conducive to learning. Think about that. He said segregation causes a sense of inferiority by placing children in environments not conducive to learning. 60, 70 years later, ask yourself that very simple question, how far have we come? When I think about George Elmore and I think about the price he paid so that he could have access to the ballot box, but today you have people who work extremely hard to take that right away from you. And there are even individuals in our generation who do not understand the price that was paid. Ask yourself that very simple question, how far have we come? When you think about Sarah Mae Fleming and everything that she went through, and she just wanted access to public transportation, but today we live in communities where people don't have access to public transportation or affordable housing or even clean water, ask yourself that very simple question, how far have we come? And Harry and Eliza Briggs only wanted their kids to have the resources to get back and forth to school. And today we live in communities where kids are literally punished because of the zip code that they're born into, where kids go to school and their heating and air don't work, their infrastructure is falling apart, where teachers are overworked and underpaid. Ask yourself that very simple question, how far have we come? And as you walk down these lines of introspection and you ask yourself this really simple question, if you're intellectually honest, you'll come to the same conclusion. Regardless of what you look like or where you're from, you'll always come to the same conclusion that in this amazing country, we've made a great deal of progress, but we still have yet a ways to go. So then on this journey to excellence, you pivot and ask yourself the next question, which is where do you go from here? Dr. King, in his second best piece of writing, his best piece of writing was the letter from the Birmingham jail. If you think it was the I Have a Dream speech, we'll just fight after this. But his second best piece of writing was his small book entitled, Where Do We Go From Here? And in that book, he gave us two choices. Dr. King said you could either have chaos or you can have community. Every day I sit on CNN and I have a little cryon up under me, and when I'm talking about the issues of the day, you can usually just swap it out. You know, chaos. It feels like chaos all around the world. But the challenge for all of the graduates today and their community and their families is that we have to learn how to rebuild community. I'll tell you a quick story before I sit down about a young man who was born at 633 Frederick Street in the big city of Denmark, South Carolina. And when he was 10 years old, something happened that fundamentally changed his world. You see, in 1955, he would always say that Mamie Till was the strongest woman he ever knew. Mamie Till, in a room much like this, decided she was going to have an open casket for her son, Emmett. And she wanted the world to see his face, because his face was brutally beaten like a pancake. It was flat. But she wanted the world to see what racism, hate, and bigotry had done to her boy. And back then, before you could go viral on Snapchat or Twitter or TikTok, back then you went viral in Ebony Magazine. And so this picture actually ended up in Ebony Magazine, and this young boy from Denmark, like many others in his generation, ripped that picture out and put it in his wallet, and it spurred his activism. His parents were middle class. They had a motel, they drove cabs, they had a little juke joint in Little Denmark, South Carolina. And they knew the stories of George Elmore. They knew the stories of those who had lost so much. They also didn't want this young hero to end up and suffer the same fate of Emmett or many others. And so they wanted him to get out of the movement. And so in order to get him out of the movement, they shipped him off to college and sent him to Howard University, which makes sense to nobody. And when he got to Howard, to compound that a little bit, he ended up becoming best friends and roommates with a young man named Stokely Carmichael. You see, Stokely actually graduated from Howard and then convinced this young boy from Denmark to drop out of school, and so he did. He dropped out of school and joined the small fledgling civil rights organization called the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, also known as SNCC, and they got paid $8 a week. His first mission was to go to Miami University of Ohio, where they were training civil rights workers before they went down and registered voters in Mississippi during Freedom Summer. And while he was in Ohio, he got a phone call that 3 of his friends had gone missing. Their names were Goodman, Schwerner, and Cheney. And he led these search missions in Philadelphia, Mississippi, which is the size of this auditorium, if not smaller. And during the day, they would hide in barns and sheds, and at night, they would go out and look in ditches and trenches. And ironically enough, they found these bodies behind the home of one of the local sheriff deputies and ministers in the town. That was this young boy from Denmark's first indoctrination into the movement. He ended up becoming National Field Director and Program Secretary under both Stokely Carmichael and John Lewis. And then he went back home to South Carolina and became involved in the most deadly civil rights demonstration this country's ever seen. The most deadly civil rights demonstration this country's ever seen. The overwhelming majority of this audience has heard the words Kent State before. A few less have heard the words Jackson State before. But very few of you all know the story of February in 1968, when students from South Carolina State College, as it was known at the time, decided they were going to protest the All-Star Bowling Alley, which the history books call Jim Crow's final hiding place, the last vestige of discrimination. It's set back in a right angle, and the students were supposed to send 3 in and take a knee while they got arrested, and they were going to fight those injustices in the court of law. But when they got there, they didn't know that city police and state troopers were already on the inside of the building. And so they began to clap and chant and sing protest hymns on the outside. They were in this right angle, and police began to surround them. And as they began to get louder, the police began to press up against them. They pressed up against the glass, and the glass broke, and all hell broke loose. Police began to beat the students, but they beat them not with normal police batons, but with batons that were about this long, and at the end they had these leather rawhide whips. That was the night of February 6th, and the students had to go back to their campus and heal not only their physical wounds, but their emotional wounds as well. And then came February 7th, 1968. I think old folks say the tension was so thick you can cut it with a knife, but I compare it to, who's y'all rival? Who's Texas Southern rival? Prairie View. Compared to when y'all Texas Southern is playing Prairie View and you're in the parking lot after the game and you feel like something about to pop off. That's what the 7th felt like. But then came, nothing happened, and then came that fateful day of February 8th, 1968. The students went back down to the bowling alley, but this time when law enforcement came, they got the right idea, and they went back to their campus. They went back to their campus. They went back to their campus because they felt safe in their communion. They felt safe in their numbers because they had gathered together much is for the same reason we've gathered here today, for a singular cause and a common good. The students could not foresee what would happen next. They did not foresee that South Carolina State troopers would line up along the embankment in front of their beloved campus. They did not foresee that they would close ranks like they did. They did not foresee that they would have shotguns that were loaded with deadly double-aught buckshots of the same bullets we use to hunt deer. And they did not foresee that those shotguns would be turned on them with deadly intent. And for 8 seconds, 1001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shots were fired into the group of students. They killed 3, Henry Smith, Samuel Hammond, and Delano Middleton, and wounded another 28. This young man from Denmark was actually shot in the shoulder that night, and he went to the infirmary. When he got to the infirmary, they told him there was nothing they could do for him there. He had to go to the hospital. When he got to the hospital, he was pointed out by the only black sheriff deputy in Orangeburg County at the time, and he was arrested. He was arrested and charged with 5 felony counts. They deemed him to be an outside agitator. He was looking at a maximum of 75 years in prison. All 9 officers who fired shots into the group of students were tried. It was the first time in this country's history that federal civil rights charges were filed against law enforcement for shooting unarmed black folk. They were all found not guilty. A young man from Denmark went to trial. The lead investigator said he had misplaced the evidence because of the time that had passed, but he did remember this young man, not on the night of the 8th, but on the night of the 6th, standing on top of a fire truck, lighting a Bic and saying, "Burn, baby, burn." And so his indictment was backdated from February 8th to February 6th. His charges were all dismissed except for one, rioting. He was charged, tried, and convicted of rioting. And he became the first and only one-man riot in the history of this country. He ended up serving a year of hard labor. And when you look at him today and you see that his shoulders don't stand as upright as they once did from carrying the burdens of so many generations, or his eyes don't pop like they used to from shedding so many tears, and you ask him what's the greatest sacrifice he had to make, he'll tell you the greatest sacrifice he had to make was not being in jail or losing his freedom per se, but the greatest sacrifice he had to make was being in jail for the birth of his oldest daughter, or my big sister. Because this young man from Denmark who grew up into a civil rights hero is my father, Dr. Cleveland Sellers. And you see the lessons that I learned from people like Thurgood Marshall, the lessons that I learned from people like Henry Smith and Samuel Hammond and Delano Middleton and Medgar Evers and Emmett Till and Jimmy Lee Jackson and Judy Richardson and Marion Barry and Stokely Carmichael and H. Rapp, and the list goes on and on and on and on, even before you get to the Martins, Malcolms, and Roses, is that the answer to the question, where do you go from here, lies fundamentally in the ability for you all to do two things. The first thing is you have to learn how to, again, as you stated so eloquently, you have to learn how to dream, but you actually have to make it an action item. You have to learn how to dream with your eyes open. And the second thing you have to do is the most difficult. This is more aspirational. I think in the church, we always say, "He ain't done with me yet." I'm up here talking to graduates about something they should do, and I don't necessarily do it all the time, but I try. You have to learn and rededicate yourself to the proposition of loving your neighbors. But there's a ... When you leave these buildings, when you leave this environment, you have to learn how to love your neighbors even when they don't love you. That's a special type of love, and that is damn hard, but that is what you have to aspire to do. Because then and only then can you get to our ultimate goal on this journey, which is excellence. And with all due respect to all the educators in the room and behind me, y'all can be number two. If your mama's a teacher, she can be number two. But the greatest educator of all time is Benjamin E. Mays. And Benjamin E. Mays defined excellence the way I will define it for you all today. It is in all things that you do them so well that no man living, dead, or yet to be born can do them better. That's the destination for this journey. Now, when you get there, your name may not be in lights, and you may not be rich, and you may not be famous. But maybe somebody somewhere will simply be able to look at you and say, "Job well done." Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Sellers. We do need to dream with our eyes open. And thank you for continuing to inspire us, all of us, to love each other. Even if we are not loved, we should love. It is up to us to lead. Thank you. I would like to call Christian Walford, who is the 3L class treasurer, to the podium to do a presentation to Mr. Sellers.
Class of 2024, how we doing? I said, how are we doing? We want to say thank you, Bakari, one, for not only just being a good man, a good father, but you have been on the front line on CNN The View with your book, The Moment. You've just been an awesome man, and also on behalf of Thurgood Marshall School of Law, we want to say thank you so much, and I appreciate this moment, and we're going to cherish this moment forever, right, to us from 2024?
Yeah. Appreciate
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. I would dap you up. I ain't got no more. Thank you for the invitation.
I welcome Dean Chukwuemeka back to the podium for the beginning of the hooding.
Ladies and gentlemen, we extend our deepest gratitude to our distinguished graduation speaker, Bakari Sellers, for his inspiring words. Now we turn our attention to the main event, the hooding of our exceptional graduating students. To our graduates, enjoy this moment. You have overcome countless challenges to reach this milestone, and we are immensely proud of all of you. Congratulations, class of 2024. Let the ceremony begin.
I invite Associate Dean Ahnanya Anga and Professor Lydia Johnson to come and stand for the hooding of the graduates. And I invite as well Professor Shelley Bennett to introduce the graduates.
Aaron Abram, Juris Doctor. Cum laude. Cum laude. Student Bar President. Lauren Gonzalez. Juris Doctor, summa cum laude. Channing Christoph Jr. Juris Doctor, summa cum laude, valedictorian, and Dean's Leadership Council member. Christian Wolford. Juris Doctor, magna cum laude. Abigail Abel. Juris Doctor, cum laude. Joseph Acevedo Jr. Juris Doctor, cum laude, passed the bar exam in February. He is being hooded by his father, it doesn't say on here, Father Joseph Acevedo Sr., class of 1989. Thank you. Brandon Agumo, Juris Doctor. Oya Ali Neely. Juris Doctor, magna cum laude, and Dean's Leadership Council member. Miranda Alonzo. Juris Doctor, Dean's Leadership Council member. Denzel Asala. Juris Doctor. Eleanor Awa. Juris Doctor. Passed the bar exam in February 2024. Taha Aziz. Juris Doctor. Lynn Badu. Juris Doctor. Avery Baptiste Dixon. Juris Doctor. Elizabeth Barnes. Juris Doctor, cum laude. Joseph Barron. Juris Doctor, magna cum laude. Sherman Bell. Juris Doctor, Dean's Leadership Council member. Charles Bennett III. Juris Doctor. Jasmine Bernuti. Juris Doctor. Cornelius Sebastian Berry II. Juris Doctor, cum laude. Cavaya Brazil. Juris Doctor. Antonius Brown. Juris Doctor. Iron Brown. Juris Doctor. Passed the February bar. Kiera Burke. Juris Doctor, summa cum laude. Jessica Campos. Juris Doctor, magna cum laude. Martha Campos. Juris Doctor. Jessica Carbajal Bennett. Juris Doctor. Armando Cardenas. Juris Doctor, cum laude. Jorge Caso. Juris Doctor. Alana Chappelle. Juris Doctor, cum laude, Dean's Leadership Council. Sherelle Council Brown. Juris Doctor, passed the February bar exam. Marissa Cummings. Juris Doctor, cum laude, Dean's Leadership Council member. Romache Cunningham. Sorry. Juris Doctor, passed the February bar exam. Dean's Leadership Council member. Divine Davenport. Juris Doctor. Brianna Davis. Juris Doctor. She is being hooded by Judge Robert Rigsby. Renee DeCosse. Juris Doctor. Orfilio de Ochoa, Jr. Juris Doctor, summa cum laude, Dean's Leadership Council member. Amber Dean. Juris Doctor. She's being hooded by Professor Wu, magna cum laude, Dean's Leadership Council, passed the February bar exam. Regal Dean Jackson. Juris Doctor. Atasha Dennis. Juris Doctor, cum laude. She's being hooded by J.C. Loftus, class of 1978. Maricela Davini. Juris Doctor, magna cum laude. Charday Downer. Juris Doctor. Andrew Duckworth. Juris Doctor. Lida El Hassan. Juris Doctor. Ikea Ellis. Juris Doctor, magna cum laude. David Fajardo, Juris Doctor. Austin Fletcher. Juris Doctor, cum laude. Jazil Franco. Juris Doctor. Brandon Galvan. Juris Doctor. Esther Garza. Juris Doctor. Veronica Garza. Juris Doctor, member of the Dean's Leadership Council. Janae Gillenwaters. Juris Doctor. Brittany Goddard. Juris Doctor. Melanie Gomez Reyes. Juris Doctor. Marcela Gonzalez. Juris Doctor, magna cum laude. Zacharias Gonzalez. Juris Doctor, magna cum laude. Rodney Gold. Juris Doctor. Jared Gover. Juris Doctor. Summa cum laude, salutatorian. Member of the Dean's Leadership Council. Luis Raul Gutierrez. Juris Doctor, magna cum laude. Sylvia Harmon. Juris Doctor, magna cum laude, Dean's Leadership Council. Kennedy Harmon. Juris Doctor, member of the Dean's Leadership Council. Diana Herrera, Juris Doctor. Jonathan Hawkless, Juris Doctor. Ivanka Hoffman, Juris Doctor. Catherine Holt, Esquire. Juris Doctor, summa cum laude, passed the February bar exam. Alexa Hippolyte. Juris Doctor. Natoya Ingles, Juris Doctor. Eduardo Izaguirre, Juris Doctor. Gabriel Jackson. Juris Doctor. Mary Jackson. Juris Doctor. Jameson J. Douglas. Juris Doctor. Samaya Jefferson. Juris Doctor, cum laude. Davida Johnson. Juris Doctor. Oceana Keckler. Juris Doctor, magna cum laude. Yibsera Kafani. Juris Doctor, cum laude, member of the Dean's Leadership Council. Maheen Khalid Mumtaz. Juris Doctor. Ruzana Koldarova. Juris Doctor. Jonathan Krochek. Juris Doctor. Mihir Kulkarni. Juris Doctor. Paul Lakin. Juris Doctor. Selma Lara. Juris Doctor. Jacqueline Lava Sherry. Juris Doctor. Morgan Leone. Juris Doctor. Robert Lewis Jr. Juris Doctor, member of the Dean's Leadership Council. Caitlin Littleberry. Juris Doctor, summa cum laude, member of the Dean's Leadership Council. Sorry? Being hooded by Professor Whedon. Amira Lockhart. Juris Doctor. Iridian Lopez. Juris Doctor, member of the Dean's Leadership Council. Matthew Lopez. Juris Doctor. Abdiel Lopez Castro. Juris Doctor. Magna cum laude. Passed the February bar exam. Tunrayo Lumpkin. Juris Doctor. Cum laude. Member of the Dean's Leadership Council. Noah Macias. Juris Doctor, magna cum laude. Jessica Mack, Esquire. Juris Doctor, passed the February bar exam. Farai Mads Vamoose, Juris Doctor. Jasha McGee. Juris Doctor. Nicole Maldonado. Juris Doctor. Amanda Markham. Juris Doctor. Deshonda Martin. Cum laude. She's being hooded by Professor Wu. Passed the February bar exam. Andi McAndrew. Juris Doctor, member of the Dean's Leadership Council. Jordan McCluskey. Juris Doctor. William Mead. Juris Doctor, magna cum laude. Michael Medina. Juris Doctor. Tyra Merritt.
She's being hooded by Professor Whedon. Juris Doctor, Dean's Leadership Council, Honor Court. Alexis Moffett. Juris Doctor, cum laude, member of the Dean's Leadership Council. Jada Morgan. Magna cum laude, member of the Dean's Leadership Council. Chelsea Morris. Juris Doctor. Teresa Murray. Juris Doctor. Toby Ogunmoyero, Esquire. Juris Doctor, magna cum laude, passed the February bar exam. Darilis Ortiz Vega. Juris Doctor, cum laude. David Palacios. Juris Doctor. He's being hooded by his brother, Toribio Palacios. TMSL graduate, class of 1992. Kiera Parker. Juris Doctor. Jennifer Pena. Juris Doctor. Noah Perez. Juris Doctor. Summa cum laude, member of the Dean's Leadership Council. He's being hooded by his father, Nat Perez Jr., TMSL graduate, class of 1992. Roman Portia. Juris Doctor, Chief Prosecutor of the Honor Court. Rainier Porter. Juris Doctor. Brandon Prince. Juris Doctor. cum laude. He was hooded by his uncle, Brandon Prince, graduate, class of 1999. Melanie Quijano, Juris Doctor, magna cum laude. She's being hooded by her brother, Robert Quijano, graduate of TMSL, class of 2016. Paris Rainey, Juris Doctor. Gabriela Ramirez, Juris Doctor. Edgar Ramon, Juris Doctor, cum laude. Nicholas Resendez, Juris Doctor, cum laude. Kayla Richard, Juris Doctor, magna cum laude. Michael Rede, Juris Doctor, cum laude, member of the Dean's Leadership Council. Odalis Rodriguez, Juris Doctor. Peter Abraham Rodriguez, Juris Doctor, passed the February bar exam. Jennifer Carolina Sanchez Alarcon, Juris Doctor, cum laude. Sorry? Okay. Deja Suarez, Juris Doctor, cum laude. She's being hooded by Professor Jackson. Sorry? Chandria Sellers, Juris Doctor, cum laude. She's being hooded by her sister, T.C. Winton, 2012 graduate of Thurgood Marshall. Fuchsia Shelton, Juris Doctor. Summa cum laude, passed the Washington, D.C. bar exam. Bria Smith. Juris Doctor. Damon Smith. Juris Doctor. Jaleesa Smith. Juris Doctor. Thank you. Kenneth Suttle. Juris Doctor. Kiana Sykes. Juris Doctor, cum laude. Shelby Tattoo. Juris Doctor. Toy, Tennessee. Juris Doctor, magna cum laude. Larissa Thomas Canty. Juris Doctor, member of the Dean's Leadership Council. Aaron Thompson. Juris Doctor. Liam Thompson. Juris Doctor, summa cum laude. Tierra Turin. Juris Doctor. Na Tran Medina. Juris Doctor, magna cum laude. Carrington Turner, Esquire. Juris Doctor, passed the February bar exam. Tulea Twyman. Juris Doctor. Nayla Underwood. Juris Doctor. Samuel Valadez, Juris Doctor, member of the Dean's Leadership Council. Rebecca Valenzuela, Juris Doctor. Daniela Villegas, Esquire. Juris Doctor, magna cum laude, passed the February bar exam. Thank you. Christina Wade, Esquire. Juris Doctor, magna cum laude, passed the February bar exam. Marshall Walker. Juris Doctor, cum laude. He's being hooded by his father, the Honorable Carl A. Walker. Sorry. Jared Wiggins, Juris Doctor. Jessica Winters, Juris Doctor. Kayla Woods, Juris Doctor. She is being hooded by her sister, Nicole Calhoun, TMSL graduate class of 2023. Elia Wilson. Juris Doctor, magna cum laude.
Let's go, Nero Wilson.
Lee Young III. Juris Doctor, cum laude, passed the February bar exam. Stephanie Zuniga, Juris Doctor, member of the Dean's Leadership Council. Ronki Badmus.
Let's go, Rocky!
Juris Doctor, Vice President of the Student Bar Association.
Diggs.
Let's go, Phoenix!
Juris Doctor, cum laude, Dean's Leadership Council, Miss TMSL, and Best Advocate. Tony Pashal. Juris Doctor, cum laude, Mr. Thurgood Marshall School of Law. Veronica Carolla, Master of Laws. Kamran Siddiqui. Master of Laws. Eric Charles Helm, MSW. Juris Doctor.
Yes, sir!
Congratulations to the class of 2023.
Let's give the graduates a hand. I knew there were a couple more shouts left in all of you, so I wanted to make sure you got that out. There will be a couple more opportunities for you to applaud the graduates. But right now, while you're still standing, and for those of you who are sitting, if you would please stand so that we can sing the TSU alma mater. It is in your booklet on the inside back page. You may be seated. I'd like to welcome Student Bar Association President, Mr. Aaron Abram, to provide benediction.
Good evening, graduates. Good evening, graduates. I see Ms. Bernuti telling me I have 3 minutes, so I'm going to do my best to be brief. Dean Ratra, I'm going to try to stay in order as you only gave me 1 minute. All right. So, I'm not gonna pain you all with trying to say the ABCs again like I did at the penance ceremony. But as we close, I kind of shifted everything that I planned to say today because upon hearing the words of Mr. Sellers, I decided that this was more important. And so he talked about the story of Isaiah when Isaiah said to the Lord, "Here I am, send me." And so I think it's time for us to tell the world and tell the Lord, "Here we are, send us." So what the scripture goes on further to say is, "Go and tell this people, keep on listening but do not understand. Keep on looking but do not comprehend." And so what that means for us as we go forward is to continue to be a lifelong learner. Continue every day to strive to do your best. Continue every day to strive to be the best advocate, a voice for the voiceless, a hope for the hopeless. And so, Ms. Bernuti, I'm getting there. And so the best way for us to do that, as we have made our pledge, is to renew that commitment of beating that 80% or better bar passage rate. And if I could have the bar pledge that we took about 16 months ago, Channing, is that correct? 13, excuse me. 19, I apologize. So ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2024, could you please stand? And for those of us in the audience and on the stage, if you all could stretch your hands forward to this class as we renew our pledge. Class of 2024, please repeat after me. We pledge to uphold the standards of excellence and achievement in the legal profession, business, and government. Today, we declare our commitment to protect it, improve it, and pass it on by achieving an 80% or better first-time bar passage rate. The class of 2024 is poised to advance the mission of Thurgood Marshall School of Law with devotion, fidelity, and dedication to rigorous bar study and preparation. We will move Thurgood forward. You all may be seated. So as I close, as the last time as your Student Bar Association president, I'm sure y'all are tired of me. I want to say first and foremost that I love you all. It has been the honor of my life so far to serve you all as your president. I'm not always an easy person to follow, but I appreciate you all. To the ladies and gentlemen standing behind me, I appreciate the time, love, and attention that you all have given to me and my classmates in pruning us and preparing us to go forward, to do that which we are tasked to do. And to the family members, friends, loved ones, parents, grandparents, I think I speak on behalf of all of my classmates when I say we love you, and we're proud of you just as much as you're proud of us. And with that, we out.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abrams. And I must say that we love you and we believe in you, and you will succeed in what you set out to do. We are now at the end of our program, and I'm going to ask that the guests remain seated while we have the processional of the faculty and the graduates. And so right now, we also want to remind people that after the program, we will have a reception for those of you who are interested in attending over at the law school in the lobby. So that would be available afterwards. So right now, let's get ready for our recessional. Faculty?